This is a severe weather alert.
Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. Chief Weather Forecaster Becky Webb here, along with Forecaster Mason. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. We have a lot to talk about. As you can see on the scrolling text down below, before we get to the latest alerts that we have here, we have something to talk about, which you can see on the red scrolling text down below above here. And I'm going to read this out word for word from the National Weather Service. And this is something that you have to keep in mind here. Catastrophic flooding and landslides for the mountains and foothills from Hurricane Helene. Let me make sure. Yeah, from Hurricane Helene. This will be one of the most significant weather events to happen in the western portion of the area. Get this. In the modern era, record flooding is forecasted and has been the floods of 1916, which I do want you to keep in mind killed a lot of people. Please keep in mind that in the Asheville area. The impacts from this event are expected to be greater than Tropical Storm Fred from August 2021, the mountains in 2004 from Francis and Ivan, and upstate South Carolina's Saluda River Basin flooding from 1949, which I'm not familiar with that, so I'm not able to compare it. We plead with everyone that you take every single warning very seriously through the entirety of this event, as impacts will be life-threatening and make sure multiple ways to receive the alerts. Receive the protection of life and property is the overall mission of the National Weather Service, and we plead to stand by the folks of the Western Carolinas and Northeast Georgia. We cannot stress the significance of this event enough. Heed all evacuation orders from your local emergency centers, and go to a storm shelter if you do not feel safe at your current location. Landslides include fast-moving debris flows consisting of water, mud, falling rocks, trees, and other large debris are most likely within the small valleys that drain deep slopes. Landslides are powerful, but potentially deadly, capable of washing out roads, bridges, and homes. People living in the area prone to landslides should be aware of the danger and be prepared to act. That is word for word of what the National Weather Service is saying and what we've been saying this entire time about it's going to be termed tropical storm, which it affects here, but right now, Hurricane Helene. This is going to be basically an historic event. Historic event. And this is something I can't stress enough. And one thing that David said here, if you do not feel safe at your location, go to a storm shelter throughout the storm. And what I said last night, and I want you guys to remember this, what I said last night was, if you're next to a river or creek, if you have friends or family that lives farther away, like not even close to your creek or stream, a little bit higher in elevation as well, go stay with them. Go have fun for a few days. Just get away from the creeks and streams, because as we can see, historic flooding is almost likely from now all the way through tomorrow. Many of us could see tops of 30 inches of rainfall that remain possible in much of our area. We could see flooding in Biltmore Village, Swananoa River, Biltmore, UNC Asheville, all of those that you've seen the videos being posted of. Imagine how high that's going to get. Then you look at Marshall, North Carolina. The river is currently almost above its banks, but the forecasted rate and the forecasted amount that how it's supposed to get is enough that it's going to have 2 feet of water in all buildings, and I'm losing my train of thought. In that area, it's just something we can't, like, even us here at the Highland, we live on a mountain. We're not even near a creek or a stream, but we're already thinking about where we would evacuate if we needed to. We're already thinking of that. And if you live in the Western Carolinas or Northeast Georgia, you need to think about where you're going to evacuate, where you're going to evacuate if you absolutely need to. That is something that I cannot stress enough. And make sure you listen to your local emergency official with the latest updates. One of the apps that I have here that will probably be the best if you guys want to get specifically local alerts from your emergency management. Let me find that. I want to get, okay. I think my Wi-Fi keeps on going in and out. Let me see if I can figure out this app here. Because every single time that my county or the place where I live at, whenever they push out push notifications locally, I get it all here instead of from a national news source, local news source. I find it. Mason, you want to take over really quick?
Yeah. So while Beckett does that, I'll just go ahead and we'll just jump right to fast track Doppler radar. So you can see here, we are currently taking a look at the radar right now. This is live right now. And you see we have some light to moderate to heavy rain moving through the Western Carolinas right now, even around the Asheville area. We do have some flash flood warnings that we want to pass along to you. First of all, is this one right here. This includes the Hendersonville area. This is until 5 o'clock. You see the damage threat is considerable. See here, it's been extended until 5 o'clock p.m. Widespread flooding across Henderson County continued this afternoon, especially along and near the French Broad River and many tributaries, which includes but is not limited to Mud and Back, Fork Creeks, and Mills River. Also remain wary of flooding along the Green River, which watch for landslides in mountainous terrain, life-threatening flash flooding and thunderstorms producing flash flooding. And you see the source there, rain gauges reported really. So we have that one. We have this one right here that includes Brevard and Rossman. Let me see here. Let me check this first because my weather bulletin just went off. Okay, they extended the flash flood warning for Chester and York counties in South Carolina. I don't know, Beckett, do we serve those two counties, Chester and York?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So if you live in Chester and York counties in South Carolina, that flash flood warning has been extended. Okay. I don't know. This is going until now 5 o'clock. I'll just run down because I have the list right here. So flash flood warning has been extended for Chester and York counties until 5 o'clock. Flood advisory for Lawrence County, South Carolina. Is that another one of our counties, Beckett?
Yes.
Lawrence. Yes. Okay, that one has been extended until 4 o'clock. That's a flood advisory. Flash flood warning has been issued for Greenwood County, South Carolina. Is that another one?
Yeah, that's in our coverage area too. Yeah.
Okay. If I call a county and we don't serve it, tell me, okay?
Okay.
So Greenwood, South Carolina, you are now under a flash flood warning. That is until 7 o'clock this evening. That is with a damage threat, considerable tag. Flood advisory for Spartanburg, South Carolina. Spartanburg County, South Carolina. That's been extended till 4 o'clock. We have flash flood warnings. I just went over that one for Henderson County. That's until 5 o'clock. Flood advisory for Rayburn County, Georgia, and Macon County, North Carolina. That's been extended until 4 o'clock. And it just goes on from there. We have a lot of alerts, really, you guys.
We do, and And the thing about this is this is just the very beginning. I read you out that message from the National Weather Service of basically seeing this historic event, basically once in a lifetime is what they basically said, and what you can see in the scrolling text down below. And we're just having and flash flood warnings with considerable tags are currently in effect for western North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, all the way into Greenwood County. And this is way before the storm is supposed to arrive. So we've seen about almost 6 to 8 inches of rainfall so far from last night, all the way to 2:30 today.
And
that's added on.
Do we serve Alexander County, North Carolina?
Yes.
Okay, that flash flood warning that is now under a flash flood warning until 4 o'clock, and then pretty much every single one of the river flood warnings has been extended, really.
And what I want to mention out too, really quick, is that I decided to go back and take a look at the Shenandoah River, Biltmore. See, how high is it supposed to get? It's supposed to be record, above the record amount, how high it's supposed to get, which will most likely mean Biltmore Village, all the roads to Biltmore Estate will most likely be flooded. So going into Biltmore Estate, if you had any plans to go into Biltmore Estate or just go see Biltmore Village, just probably don't do it for the next 2 to 3 days, because this is, as what the National Weather Service said, word for word, this could be a catastrophic flooding event. What I also wanted to point out to here is that not just all this rain that we're about to see, we're supposed to get 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts from this storm late tonight into all the way into tomorrow. So 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts along with 6-7 inches of rainfall, maybe even more. Saturated soils, the amount of power outages that we're about to see is going to be crazy. I have no doubt here in the center that we're going to be without power by tomorrow morning. And I have no doubt a lot of places in western North Carolina will be without power, because the amount of rain that we're having now and the amount of rain that we're about to see is just insane. Yes, we were in a drought. We did need the rain, but we don't need this much rain. We don't need 30 inches of rain. If the rain was not happening like the way it is now, if this tropical storm was making its way up here and we aren't getting these rounds of heavy rainfall like we are now, we would just see a big heavy wind and rain event, maybe a little bit of flooding. But with the amount of rainfall that we're continuing to get here, way before the arrival of the tropical storm, it's just insane. And the way of the National Weather Service, the way of the wording that they're saying is also insane. You can see here, tropical storm warnings are currently all in effect, almost throughout entire coverage region.
I'll point this out. The tropical storm warnings is what you see shaded in the moderate type of red, okay? The darker red is the flash flood warnings, okay? That extends all the way down to the Greenville, Spartanburg area. The tan right here that you see, that's a high wind warning that has been issued. That high wind warning goes from 12, that was issued at 12:51, and that goes until 8 o'clock at night. And that includes our East Tennessee counties, you guys. So we're also dealing with the threat for high winds. Beckett, I also wanted to mention this. Let me find it here. I think it was a flash flood warning. I can't remember, but there's a warning for Transylvania County has been, I think it was issued or extended. A flash flood warning for Transylvania County, North Carolina has been extended until 4 o'clock. Flash flooding observed by radar and automated rain gauges.
And what I want to point out really quick here too is that you'll look outside. Oh, it's calm. I mean, we're getting rain, but it's calm. It's nice outside. But it doesn't show what we're about to see for the next 24 hours. What is basically about to happen. What is happening too, the amount of congestion on the interstate, on the road, is absolutely crazy. The amount of people at the grocery stores is crazy. We all have to get prepared. And there's no doubt that we will see flooding from this. And maybe it's calm now. Maybe a lot of the creeks and streams that you've seen, a lot of the flood advisories have been allowed to expire. Flood warnings, some have been allowed to expire because of the receding lake or, receding creek or stream. But don't let that catch you off guard because of what I can't stop mentioning this about we're about to see here is something I don't even know how the words to say, like how to completely say it. It's just something historic, very heavy rainfall is about to happen. And again, like what the public information statement said here, if you do not feel safe at your current location, move to a storm shelter. For once, I normally turn all my stuff off whenever I go to bed, but for once, I'm keeping all of them on, and you guys should too. If you're in Western North Carolina, Northeast Georgia, maybe a little bit of East Tennessee too, you need to make sure you have those ways to receive weather warnings. Make sure your weather radios. I know I have a lot back there, so please excuse that. But
I have four. I have four, you guys. I have four. There's nothing wrong with having more than one radio.
Correct. All of them have batteries in them. So if you have a weather radio, or maybe go to Walmart, get a weather radio. It's an easy setup. You can go through the same, all the codes for your weather radio for your county is all available on their website.
Yes,
You can just go there.
If you guys need help setting up your weather radio, your local National Weather Service office will be more than happy to help you. Just call them, and if you need help setting the county, they'll help you. Okay, the National Weather Service is a good resource to turn to. Okay, and we are as well. We are here. We are here to help you guys. Okay. And we're not. Also, I want to make this clear. I'm sorry to cut you off, second, but I want to make this clear to everyone watching us right now. We are not here to scare you. Okay, we're not here to scare the daylights out of you, but we want you to understand how serious of a situation this is going to be. Okay, this is going to be perhaps even more extreme than any other hurricane that the United States has been struck by. Okay. I mean, yes, we've had a lot of hurricanes. Katrina was the biggest powerful one that hit New Orleans. It took almost, I think it wiped that town off the map completely. Yes, that was powerful. But this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, guys, and we are here to help you stay informed, be prepared, and just know what to expect. Okay, again, we're not here to scare you or anything or make you panic, but we want you to understand the tone of voice that we are using, that I'm using, and that Beckett is using.
And what I said before too, don't be scared, be prepared.
Yes.
Always.
Always. And pray.
And pray. Well, some people don't pray, but that's
right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But yeah. Anyways, also make sure that you have ways to charge your phone. What I did, this was Wednesday. I went out and I got I filled up the gas tank in my car. You should too if you're in Western North Carolina, Western Carolinas, or Northeast Georgia. If you're just fill up the gas tank, you don't know how long, if you're evacuating, how long you're going to be sticking in traffic. Or just things like that. That's what I did. Make sure you also, as well, have your phones completely charged. So what I'm doing is that I'm preparing for mainly a probably even 3-day power outage. If that's with all the rain and wind that we're going to see, that's what I'm preparing for. And I'm charging my computers up because if my phone dies, I'll be able to charge them via my computer. And that's also another source that you can use. Remember, always keep in mind, if the power goes out, and you want to use your car for either heat, cooling, or charging up your phone, remember to, if it's in the garage, make sure you open the garage door. That's
Yes,
also
that way you
something
don't
else.
get overturned by carbon monoxide.
Correct.
And I
So,
have one big safety tip. If any of you that are watching us right now and you own a home security system, now is the time while you still have the ability to test your system, okay? It's simple to do, especially if you have a system that goes out over the cellular network, okay? If you have 24/7 central station monitoring, um, you want to make sure, and this is important to understand, you have to test your system. That way, in case you lose power, that you can make sure that your security system is still able to alert you during the power outage. Okay, that way it's still able to send signals to the monitoring center, and that way you can get help no matter if it's police, fire, ambulance, whatever you need. Okay, it's very simple. All you do is you call your alarm company and you ask you ask them to test your system. They'll put your system on test, and they can walk you through their testing procedure for any part of your home and let you know whether or not they are receiving signals from your system, okay? Just call them, give your name, your address, your phone number, and your verbal password, and they'll you you can take it from there, okay? You just ask them to put your system on test and go ahead and test your system, okay? It's very important. I own alarms. In fact, I have one right there. I have one right here, and that was not that is monitored, but it's going over the phone line. But I don't have to worry about it because I'm not going to be impacted by the storm majorly as you guys are. But still, you have to test your security system, and also let your alarm company know that you're good that you're more likely going to be without power for like more than 2 days. Okay, that way they can understand when they get signals coming in like AC power and low battery. Let them know that that's why. Okay. So I want to make that very clear. So yeah.
okay. So what I want to mention here is I do want to apologize about one thing. So apparently one of the other graphics that we sent out here on Highland Weather showing like 20, 30 inches of rainfall. That was an incorrect graphic. So this is the actually correct one. So we're going to use this one instead. So we do apologize about that. This is the expected rainfall amount. But we could see even more. Just something to think about. 4 to 6 inches of rainfall here in Asheville, 8 to 10 in Brevard, 6 to 8 inches in Tryon, 4 to 6 inches down in Forest City, 6 to 8 inches in Greenville, and look at that, 10 to 15 inches in Newland. So there's a possibility that we can see more than 6 inches because we have received about 6 to 8 inches so far from that from the storm from the moisture coming up and bringing that very heavy rainfall. Everyone else in the Charlotte area, down into Monroe, Salisbury, you guys will get a little bit of rain, 1.5 to 2 inches, but you guys are at least dodging. You're dodging a bullet massively. So that's one positive thing to think about. Mason, do you want to do a little bit of an update on the Hurricane Helene? Because I believe it's a major hurricane now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can. I'll get to the rain rates here in a little while. Okay. I'll go ahead and we'll go over the we'll go. I'll show the tropical satellite, and let me put this into motion really. So as you guys can see here, this is our tropical satellite. Well, it's mine really. But you guys can see here how much the storm has evolved really. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in. I want you guys to see this right here. It may be hard to pinpoint out, but right here in this vicinity, right there. Um, Becky, can you take over? I have to take this. This is from.
Okay. So here is the track right now. Here it is right now. I didn't have any of the stuff up. My mistakes. So we can go ahead and go to it. Give me just a second. There you go. So the track still remains the same at this point right here. Let me see. I believe it's so currently right now it's a major hurricane as the report is coming in right now. Not just the catastrophic flooding that we're going to see here in Asheville, there's also catastrophic storm surge that they're going to see in the Florida Panhandle too. Which again is out of our coverage area. But I'm going to go ahead and let Mason continue with what he was saying.
Okay, sorry about that. I had to take that. It was a phone call. Anyway, I want you guys to notice this. This is where the center of Helene is located, okay? And it's important to mention, really, that once this thing comes on shore, then you're going to get extremely strong winds out of this thing, okay? But once you get inside that eye wall, the winds do die down a bit. They do die down a little bit. They won't die down considerably, but they'll die down a little bit. But once you get outside the eye wall, the winds will amp right back up, okay? And this thing, look at that. This is impressive. I mean, just look at that. This is one big hurricane, you guys. And I was looking at Futurecast before we came on air. It's still looking like the center of this storm is going to make landfall in Tallahassee by like 9 o'clock tonight. 8 or 9 o'clock is when the center is supposed to make landfall in Tallahassee, Florida tonight. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, Beckett. You can go ahead and take over if you want, really, and just let me know. Do you want to go ahead and go to the track now, the tropical tracker?
Yes, just really quick because I want to just point out something. So as you see the track here, it's way out of our coverage area. The track shows it out of our coverage area completely. But what we're about to see is from that storm, and we're not even in the path of it. It's just something to keep in mind with this one and all future events over the next few years, is that do not look at the cone. Think about what effects you're going to see over the next couple of days from that storm. What the public information statement even mentioned too is many of us remember Tropical Depression Fred of 2021. That was a big event. Oh, that. Okay, another flash flood warning.
You can play if you want.
No, we'll read it. It is a flash flood threat considerable for Lawrence County, South Carolina. So we have another flash flood warning that is a considerable tag in South Carolina for all of Lawrence County. Rainfall this afternoon across Lawrence County has been between 2.5 and 3.5 inches. Doppler indicated heavy tropical showers expanding in coverage from the south. Additional rainfall amounts of 1.5 to 3 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly, especially from around Greater Clinton to Lawrence and within the Little River Basin. So we have a flash flood warning with a damage threat considerable just issued for the whole county, for the whole county of Lawrence, South Carolina. So that's something that I wanted to mention really quick. Many of us, let me go back to what I was talking about really quick. Keep it coming up. Many of us remember Tropical Depression Fred, 2021. Brought so much rainfall, not as much as we're about to see here, but so much rainfall, so many alerts that even made the stations completely go off the air. The flooding was awful. Marshall, all of those areas got catastrophic. Well, not catastrophic, that's not the right word, but a lot of flooding. It was insane. And the tree fell up the street from here. The tree fell, knocked the entire power line down. But just think about that. Tropical Depression Fred, but 3 times worse, maybe even more of what we're about to see. Because we got about 30, 45 mile an hour wind gusts from Tropical Depression Fred. Keep in mind, it was a tropical depression. But the storm's going to come up as a tropical storm, dropping all that rainfall in a short period of time, as well as winds of 65, even in some areas reaching 70 miles an hour by late tonight, early morning tomorrow. So there's no doubt, and this is even what the National Weather Service is calling out. This is what local emergency managers, officials are calling out. Please stay off the road. Like they're even saying this now, way before the storm. Please stay off the road. We cannot make your life choices. We can't do that. But we're giving you this precaution here to think about before you go out and do something.
And this is way ahead of the time, guys.
It is. And remember, turn around, don't drown. And the problem is too, is that whenever you're driving and it's nighttime, it's a little bit harder to see floodwaters. Like super hard. It's so
you don't have a lot to work with, basically. You don't have a lot to work with besides your headlights. And you come around the corner and there's a flood of roads. Okay, so you have to be really, really careful when coming around the corner.
That's right. And the best thing to do, here's the best thing to do. Don't drive at night. Stay home. Relax. Watch TV or anything like that. Just sit back and relax.
Hunker down.
Or, yeah, just sit back and relax and just wait it out inside your house. What I'm advising you to do too is if you're like around trees, like many of us are in a forest or near a forest here in Western North Carolina, with all the saturated soils, with a strong wind gust can just knock over a tree and just crash right into your house. So if you can, sorry, someone texted me. If you can, please, go sleep downstairs. Sleep away from trees if that's possible. I know it's very difficult, but just do that. Take an extra precaution. The amount of reports that we've seen from events similar to this, not quite like this, but similar to this, is the saturated soils and strong wind gusts just knock over the tree. And we've had a lot of fatalities in houses or in a car from a tree falling on to.
Yeah, and I remember when Hurricane Florence hit, when it came right on to, when it struck North Carolina like dead on, there was a death really from that storm where a tree fell and crashed into a house and killed, I think it was a little baby girl. Um, so yeah, that just goes to show you that, and that was just one fatality, folks, and one fatality is all it takes to signify how deadly hurricanes can be. And even tropical storms. Sometimes tropical storms can become really strong without even getting to the criteria of being a hurricane. Okay, but tropical storms can still be deadly as well. And this is a hurricane, and in fact, it's a major hurricane right now. Because as I was looking at the track last night, it indicated that it was supposed to be a major hurricane both by this morning and by the time it reaches the Florida Big Bend tonight at around 7 o'clock. Okay, so it's right now a major hurricane, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. I'm trying to see if I'm missing.
Oh, check this out.
Anything.
Check this out right here. The spinning center circle just updated. It's right now here.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a pretty big event, and we already have plans just in case of a power outage here in the center. Whoop, I'm not showing my. In case of a power outage here at the center, Mason's going to be taking over through much of it here, because most likely we will lose power. But just keep in mind of what all we said over the next couple of hours. Rewatch this if you want to, but just keep in mind that this could be a catastrophic flooding event. And that's all. I'm trying to make sure if there's anything else.
I just got a notification from the weather bulletin. The flood advisory for Lawrence County, South Carolina, has been canceled.
That is Correct. And we also, not just that too, we also have a chance of seeing tornadoes in the Carolinas throughout tonight. So make sure you also have a way to receive weather watches and warnings. I know people in the Piedmont, North Carolina, and South Carolina area are mainly just getting the wind event, dodging through most of the heavy rain.
Oh my gosh!
But
Wait,
the tornado risk is greater
we're
than.
gonna, Beckett, we'll go right back to the tropical tracker, but I want to show this right now because I'm just now checking out the tornado warning. Take a look at this, you guys. This is in Georgia, okay? So it's way out of our coverage area, but this is still an immediate threat. This is a tornado warning. These are tornado warnings right here, but this purple polygon, that is a confirmed or observed tornado warning, okay? And yeah, this is as serious a situation, really. I'm gonna try and
Quick
see.
spin ups are possible. So that's just something to really
Yeah,
watch out with.
I don't see debris signatures right now, but more likely one will pop up. So I just wanted to show that really. But that signifies that we can see tornadoes out of the storm really. We saw it with Debbie. We've seen it pretty much with every single hurricane and tropical storm that struck the United States over the years, really. So I'll switch back to the tropical tracker, but I did want to show that because I just now noticed it.
That is correct. Mason, can you take over really quick? I need to add something onto the side really quick before we
Yeah,
jump off.
I'll just go ahead and go through the track, okay? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's good.
So we're gonna go ahead and go through the tropical tracker. So this is the latest plot for the National Hurricane.
No power. Power's flickering.
Uh-oh.
Anyways, sorry. It's
You're
already
fine.
flickering.
Anyway, this is the latest plot from the National Hurricane Center, just updated, okay? So I haven't even had time to go through this tracker fully, even before we came on air. So you and I are looking at this for the first time, okay? And let's see where it takes the path with Helene, okay? So we know that the center is right here in the Gulf of Mexico now. It's out of the Caribbean, so it's now here in the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to make landfall still in Tallahassee. It's going to take dead aim on Tallahassee. We know that for a fact. By the time it reaches the shore, it's supposed to weaken down to a category 2. Then it's going to track up across the western side of the state of Georgia, going right through the Atlanta area and touching parts of Alabama, even the Huntsville metro area. By that time, it should be weakened down to a downgraded rather to a tropical storm. Then it's going to track from there and go into the Tennessee Valley as well as even especially into the Nashville area. And this is where it's going to become a tropical storm still and eventually a tropical depression, okay? And from there, it's going to be the end. We're just going to have the remnants from there, okay? So, but that is the latest track from the National Hurricane Center, okay? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've touched base on a lot of things here. And I don't think there's anything else to mention unless you have anything else to talk about, Mason.
I don't really, I just wanted to show this really because I don't think a lot of people really know that it is going to make landfall. So keep an eye on this, okay? So I'm going to back this up to 2 o'clock, okay? This is 2 o'clock currently. This is the current time right here. This is the future cast time, okay? I'm going to show this to you, okay? Because I want you to pay close attention down here when the center of the storm right here reaches the Tallahassee Bay, okay? All right? So we're at 5 o'clock. This thing's going to be getting closer and closer, okay? All right? 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9. So it looks like it's going to take a little bit more, okay? And then, so it looks like now by 10 o'clock and 11 is when it's supposed to make landfall. So it looks like now it's.
Did it shift east?
Yeah, it did because when I was looking at it last night, the center of the storm, which is right here, was supposed to take dead aim on Tallahassee. So it looks like it took a little bit more of a turn to the east.
Okay.
So watch, yeah, you can see that center right there. This is the center right here, you guys. Look at that. It's going to make landfall right there at around 11 or 12 o'clock tonight. So, and it's going to happen there.
That is correct. Let me check and make sure Not missing anything. Yeah, that's all I have here.
I think that is everything for now. We just cannot stress it enough to you guys that this is a serious situation. Okay, just be prepared and hunker down, evacuate. If you haven't done so, evacuate either now or later this evening or tonight or tomorrow. Just evacuate. Okay, evacuate. There isn't much time. Okay, there isn't much time before the storm reaches the viewing area. Okay, this is fast track Doppler radar scanning the skies right now. Okay, and I think we're just gonna close this out and leave you guys with fast track for now.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and go here. All right. All right, everyone. I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Becca Webb here, along with Forecaster Mason. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please stay safe. We will continue to provide the latest updates over the next couple of hours. If we will think about, we will most likely do another update this evening around 7 p.m. with another look before the biggest part of the storm arrives. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your day, actually. I will see you all on the next update. Please stay safe. And yeah. All right, everyone. I'll leave you with a live look at the radar. Want to be a supporter of Highland Weather? Join us on Patreon for as low as $3 per month or as high as $20 per month at patreon.com/Highland.